Mr. Witness.
Sedo.
Welcome back.
Bismillah.
You told this commission earlier that on this day, when you are taken to Lamin Dabo's office, a hood was placed over your head. By then you saw Bombardier and two other people, and you are tortured in that office. Do you recall saying that?
Yes.
You said that was the only person you knew among them. Bombardier and another person called Lamin, you heard his name being called.
Is
that correct?
Yes.
How did you come to know Bombardier?
Bombardier London. I don't know Bombardier. Bombardier. I didn't know him before, but it was at the NIA that I saw him and I heard people calling him Bombardier.
The reason why I asked this question is as at the time you were in detention, Bombardier was also in detention. So he could not have been the person to torture you. What do you say to that?
I don't know him personally, but somebody called Bombardier was there. I saw him standing.
You see, on the 9th of June, 2010, Bombardier appeared before the High Court on charges of treason.
Bombardier ya samba kiti bu nyati ngola tumirol la memu jamfa ya kiti tumirol.
So in 2010, Bombardier pretty much resided at Mile 2 prison.
Bombardier 2010 sang kono wato la be kasi bombardo memu Mile 2.
I have the report of the alleged coup d'etat of 2009.
2009 tumiro mengeme le kam coup d'etat
in which Langtombong Tamba, Bombardier, alias Kausu Kamara, and others were charged with treason.
Damento Langtombong Tamba, and Kausu Kamara, Kafa Bombardier, and Indo Kotangol Dabe, Tumiro Mentono, Memu coup d'etat.
So they were all in prison, and he could not have been the person to torture you at the NIA.
What
do you say to that?
It could be. I don't know Bombardier, but I had people calling the name Bombardier there.
And would you accept that this may be a case of mistaken identity?
Well, I cannot take that part because I didn't say that he was the person who beat me.
But of course, the insinuation, the suggestion is there that the people who were in the room with you, including the person you identified as Bombardier, and the people who actually tortured you. The insinuation is there.
Wala nyindi ko mola melbe ma bere mo bonyim kono je abe kono je bombarder to be jere andu mo mol wolle tarta mol kono mera wolle lipa bonyim kono
nsonta je la bare bombarder to na bombarder lone bar mum bombarder ntafo no la ko moy ko nyine fam bombardeti
Well, I can accept that, but I cannot even identify the person who is bombarded. I cannot point him out to anybody.
Was Malum before?
Because I didn't know him before.
Okay. In view of the information I just provided you about the fact that Bombardier was in detention at the time and could not have participated in your torture, would you now accept that Bombardier was not one of your torturers?
Kasuji ning hanin ka bi kibaro la ngamen di la jang membe suji ning Bombardier la kola ko watu men na ite betar ibo bonyi ngone be lipa kan Bombardier o watu la be kasibu ngotole atamanke moti me yalon ka be maberin num dingirato bonyi kono tarte bude kan bonyi men kono je be sonna o malba
Wonte jabir koy soto no lawto because mte lota damante wala mom Bombardier long so in son tawoto lo mon son oto la mom Bombardier long ngato mo le Bombardier.
Well, that's something which I cannot accept because I don't know Bombardier, I cannot identify him. But what I heard at that time was someone was being called as Bombardier. So this is how I also came to know that this person is Bombardier. That's all what I know about him.
In essence, in the room, in the office of Lamin Dabo, you do not know the identities of the people who tortured you.
Hanin kabi office ko no memu Lamin Dabo office ko nyin kono je hanin kabi amansene mambata e ma long mo la melbe ma beri ngo bo nyin kono je o Lamin Dabo office nyin kono je e me long e me sute
Mo long.
Yes, I don't know them.
Thank you very much.
in barabake
So now let's move on.
silanga tenteng
You have talked about several torture sessions.
ye buteri ben jamal lelfo
So, and you told the commission that you agreed to sign a statement
and ye nyin fo commission e inata na sonne ka kayto do sign
on the day your child was taken upstairs by Omar Cham.
lumo melna idimma nyi ya samba bunjango santo me ya samba je wala mo kilindi ka me Umar Cham.
And in your testimony, you said he threatened you that if you do not give them what they want by signing this statement, then you would not see your child again.
Andu yen for commission wa ila seda ndiro kono ko iko Umar Cham ye silandi akoye ko ning ayata itol isurata menna ibulu nima wodila idimo nyin itajala.
Is that your testimony?
So wala mwila seda ndiro di wala foba.
Ade.
Yes.
Is this the truth?
Wala mtonyati.
Wala mtonyati.
Yes,
The
that's the
absolute
truth.
truth.
Nyina mtonyati.
Wala mtonyati.
That's the
You
truth.
are on the oath.
Be kal wala koto de.
Wala mtonyati.
That's the truth.
Now let's proceed.
Silanga tenteng woto.
But before all this time,
Bari janni nyi watol be.
you have had other encounters at the NIA where you have seen boxes being brought.
Ye ini ye choki nyomo warde nyo ise nyolo soto ni mol tema jele damel to yalon ko yi box dol jeje
Can you tell us about it?
fu kuma fonye fesi fen kuma fono nyawo ko to ba
Ade.
Yes.
Please proceed.
dan ya fonye
Boxo sifa juma.
What kind of boxes?
In your statement, you told us that some soldier came to the NIA carrying a box.
ila kuma kan ro membe safari ya fo je ko sojaro ro na taji enaye je anin boxol
And you assisted in carrying the box.
andu yedde ma ro kala pour ka boxol ni sika
Is that true?
fo mu to nyalti ba
Ade.
Yes.
Kindly tell us the story about this box and the contents.
silang kuma fonye ni boxol la ko do anin mun be boxol ni kono
Boxo nyulu amanke sinya kilinde o fulati ngamere sinya saba.
The case of these boxes was not only once. I think it was up to 3 times.
So nye boxo samanan sinya follow.
The first time that this man came with that box,
So malong abe fabe hawjere nebang anatantala rumo kono.
I don't know whether he was in a hurry, but he came to my room.
Ay boxo nyin tuje.
He left the box there.
Bari ngaje boxo nyin be mamman kan.
But I saw the box being shaken around like it was moving.
Yeah. So ana rafo nyako boxo ni asamanye jana numola office ndekata le sign.
Then he told me, help me and take this box to Numo's office because me, I am going away right now. I took up the box and took it to Numo's office.
Who was this soldier?
Not London, but I remember at this very moment.
I knew his name before, but I cannot remember it now.
Does the name Farin ring a bell to you?
Niye Farin to my voice Mamadi son of Makonaba.
Maybe Mfalli.
Maybe it could be Mfalli.
Mfalli what?
Falli Nyadi.
Dera or Kebe?
Jera or Kebe, one of those.
Could it also be Jabang?
Fabekila Jabang Fanang.
Yeah, Mfalli Jabang.
Yes, Mfalli Jabang. Yes.
So Jabang, Fadera, Kebe?
Mfalli is correct.
Mfalli is correct.
Yeah. Do you know the which institution he worked for?
Yeah, na be do kola do ku bunda jumal to ba.
State guard.
What I heard from the other security people there was that he was one of the state guards personnel.
In your statement, you said this guy was an officer called Jabang.
Mfalli is the name.
And would you agree or would you say that his last name is Jabang?
Suffering because I remember alamuso ni namuso contacts and alamuso fananka Jabanto fananfole.
Well, if that is what is written, it could be because his wife had contact with my wife, and his wife used to say something, a pseudonym like Jabang.
Do you know what eventually happened to him?
After some months, in the same NIA.
After some months, this person in question was also detained at the NIA there.
So we have now a Mfalli, who worked with state guards and was subsequently detained at the NIA.
Silang Mfalli to soto jang me along ko abedo ko la state guard memu masala korda batoti nyala ba nying inatna fana muda ya sindi NIA.
So this guy came to the NIA headquarters.
Another NIA la korda bato.
And he carried a box.
And
you said he left the box in the room that you were. What did he do when he put the box in your room?
Among boxol London na bunkono because reception of the busy na mol jamal be reception auto then ikadunte yanan among kem falli damati well kakele several times.
That happens there several times because the reception is always busy. So sometimes when there are a lot of people around at the reception, some of them will come into my room and go. So the same thing happened with him. That's how he was at the reception. Not once, not twice, it happens, and that's how he came into my room with that box.
Could you give us an indication here? The relationship or the setup, your office, the room you occupied, and the reception. Can you give us an indication here what the setup was so that we can have an understanding?
Ila office of reception wala mi kadunda wala jiya damendo ni nata anite bungo bebe bungo men kono aba lori nyaadi le fo say tamansero isa tamanseri nu nyajamba
isa tamansero no
yes I can
go ahead
tendeng ya itandinya
misafe nyin tableau move yake almost 1 meter from the door.
Almost if you move that table and put it at place almost 1 meter from the door.
Let the record indicate the table of the executive secretary.
Mbadu safero nyimpuru ayatilinde puru na safer la na tabulo ba na executive secretary la tabulo ba.
And the door he is referring to is the exit into the commissioner's conference room.
Andong ibe bunda menna wala nyinti commissioner ka finding ani bunda menna bate ka dung ani bunda menna.
See?
Tenteng.
Comme hotobe ke la main hall ti side the wall ke la ndela remote.
Like that will be part of the main hall, but on the side will be the area where my room was located.
And the witness indicated where the how do you call it, the interpreters are located.
Yes, just he pointed towards where we are sitting.
Yes.
Monday chodi roge damento fannala wala damento mafon wala memu kan nasorla be sirin damento mafon ko mala munun kela mara karola.
That place you occupied, what was it?
Tebe dinkira mento je be sabadrin damento mum bunna mum jeti.
Well, they just placed me in that room, but I don't know what room it was or what room it is.
Was it an office, was it a cell, or was it just a waiting area?
Bungonye selo lembang fo batu dula dinkira lembang fo office lembang.
I cannot say that.
Did it have a desk?
Fo ay sira on soro lembang.
No, fentige.
There's nothing in the office.
Did it have a mattress?
Ay la soro lembang.
Siramo be lori je barum fon le ka siramo londi je matlal be semberin je.
Yes, you have some matlers which were placed against the wall, and as for the chairs, it is we ourselves who bring in chairs into the room there.
Okay. Why did Jabang or Mfali leave the box there in your room?
Mune asabu Mfali Jabang mune asabu ay nyim box wol nati ay tu ibe bungo men kono.
I don't know.
But he eventually asked you to take it to Numo Kujabi's office.
Bari akumunta ko nyi nyala bango narna fo pour ya samba Numo Kujabi la office kono.
Yes.
Why didn't he do it himself?
Mune asabu atafan kunde ma ka afaye ka samba je.
Ngaje fanam fole ako abe hawjere nga samba Numo office.
I said that a little bit earlier. He said he was in a hurry and he asked me to take it for him to Numo's office.
But weren't you a stranger to him?
Bari foyta man kay lundango de ba.
Mfali na jamal ki je ayente je odlato.
Mfali came there several times and he used to see me there.
Were you familiar with each other?
Ina dalta nyola la ba.
Na mandali nyora bar ay na jamal ki je ayente je.
Well, we are not that acquainted, but he came there many times and he used to see me there.
It would take a great deal of trust, wouldn't it? To just entrust such a box to someone that is hardly familiar to you.
In the NIA, a lot of things used to pass through that room, which was not only Mfali.
Well, we will come to that. But you said this box was moving. Did you eventually know why the box was moving?
Yes.
Tell us.
I came to know through Mfali's own words. I asked him, Mfali, what is inside this box? Then he told me that this box contains a baby.
Was the baby alive?
Sillahba, yes, Sillahba manje box kono.
Yes, in one way, yes, but in another way, it could be because I didn't look inside the box.
No, on this, let's first talk about this particular instance. The first instance came with the box and left the box with you. You said the box was moving. Why was the box moving?
ako ne molle atondi dena no ba kon asamba no mola officer to sign.
Well, I asked him, Mfali, your box is moving. Is it a fowl inside there or what is inside this box? He said yes. It is a baby which is inside this box, but help me and take it to Numo's office.
And what did you do?
Sila ide na namuneke.
Ate fintra fanam fintra direct.
He went out and I also went out.
Where did you go?
Itata mindore.
Numola office.
I went to Numo's office.
With what?
Inemo.
Boxo ni asamba numola office.
The box, I took it to Numo's office.
Did you see what was inside?
Fo inata na jele bang munabe boxo ni kono bang.
Mon boxo mayele and maje membe boxo kon bar boxo ni be man kan.
I didn't see what was inside because I didn't open the box, but the box was moving.
Did you hear any particular noise being made apart from the movement?
Na bota mamango nyinna fo kuma kama mwele ba membe ki ka boxo nyin kono ba.
Fanan ne soto tale baro manke ni sinya foloti.
That also happened, but that was another time different from this first time.
So did this event happen in 2009?
Nyin ko nyin fa kira 2009 sangola kono ba.
No sawni mutade.
I can't remember that.
Rather, you were arrested in 2010, so it would have been in 2010.
Amunda yemuda 2010 sangola kono yako bwenni.
Yes? You were arrested in 2010.
2010 sangola yemuda.
Man sawni remember.
I can't remember the year.
Well, I can tell you it's 2010 because I have your statement here. The statement you gave to the NIA.
Ntesa fo no enne 2010 sangola mkadu ngela kuma kan safiri ngosoto jande ngam yemendi NIA la.
And it was on the 15th of April 2010 that you wrote the statement.
April karotil tang ani lulem 2010 nem yukuma kan di safiroto NIA.
And it was signed on the 5th of May 2010.
And we are signed May karo till lulu 2010.
Yes, it was done on the 15th of April, not 5th.
April karo till tang ani lulu amang April lulu tani lulam.
You agree?
Ison talabang?
I need mention because Aman can tell a statement.
I don't agree to that because that was not my statement.
Are you disputing the date the document was done? I'm not talking about the contents.
Lungu men ibe balanga lungu nyinde laba lungu men kibaro nyindi kayto kono bang fo membe fudurin kayto kono ibe balanga.
I am not talking about the contents, I'm talking about the date.
Ko amantara diam kan kuma kan wala membe safirin kayto nyin kono da abe diam kan menna kula wala lungu nyindi membe safirin je kayto bala.
Lungu nyi membe safirin ndama son fon because lungu membe safirin mo lungu remember. Membe safirin kayto kono on tentati ndama safir.
Well, the reason for disputing this is what is written in that document is not my statement. So the date written on the document is a day which I cannot remember.
But you still dispute that your arrest was in 2010.
Bahan gabi balanda nyinnelo ko ila mutaro nyin amanke 2010 sangodi.
Mambalande nkola ko malum remember.
I'm not disputing the date, but I said I cannot remember the date.
Yes, but you are now being reminded.
Right, saying
it was in 2010.
2010 ne yesa ba kasoro. Fo isonda wala ba.
No, membalang tara kasola le, bar membalang ber ndema lungu remember.
No, I'm not disputing, yes, but the day itself is what I cannot remember. But I agree that I went to jail.
All right, I would check it online. The newspapers hardly lie about date of events.
Just
a moment, I would it will still come, it will soon come up. It's not a controversial issue, but I would just want to tell you that this event happened in 2010.
2010
You agree?
Isandalaba.
No, I'm not disputing that, but the day is the date I cannot remember.
Okay. All right. So on this occasion, you went to Numo Kujabi's office. You have this box in your possession. And then what did you do?
On that first occasion, I took it to Numo's office, I gave it to him, then I left his office.
How did you give it to him?
I just went and placed it inside his office.
Where was Numo at the time?
He was in the office there.
Did he see you?
Yes.
Did you have a conversation with him?
On the first day, we didn't exchange any words. He didn't tell me anything.
What did you do with the box?
I just placed it inside his office.
Did you show him that you were placing a box in his office?
Yes, he was sitting down looking at me.
So you uttered no word?
What I said was, they told me to bring this for you. He told me, put it down.
Did you hear the baby cry?
That also happened, but not on that first day.
So this particular day, the baby was moving in the box, but no cries.
Yes.
And you did not open the box to see the baby?
No.
In your honest statement, you are under oath. Did Fali or Jabang or Fali Jabang or Fali Kebe or Fali Fadera, did the person tell you that it was a baby inside the box?
ebe kalola koto fo falli jaba fo falli fadera fo falli nyadilam fo aya fo ne ko nyim boxo kono membe je walam de nanoti ba
yes.
And you could see the movement, or you could feel the movement of the box?
And boxo nyi ka jele ka abe mamankan.
Yes.
Where in the office did you place the box for Mr. Kujabi?
Boxo nyi Mr. Kujabi memu numo Kujabi office kono ya londa office kono mi do ma fanne.
Even tala office to Marakarola konya alonde na boxo alonde je.
If you enter his office on the left hand side, in the room there, he told me to put it down there. That's where I placed it.
When was the next time?
After a few weeks after.
I think that took place after a few weeks.
And what happened?
Same time, an inbox on that.
The same time he came with a box.
What time of the day was it?
It always happens early in the morning.
Like what time?
No, but someone that
I cannot estimate the time, but I know that it is in the early hours of the morning.
But what does early hours of the morning mean to you?
Someone that 9 o'clock.
Early in the morning, that's before 9 o'clock.
Before people go to work, while people have already gone to work, or later?
Before 9.
I can say before 9.
When it happened, did it all happen at the same time or at around the same time?
Well, I cannot say that they all took place at the same exact time because I don't check time because I was not sitting there to check on them or check on time.
We want to know, we all know commission would start in the morning, not early in the morning. So on these events, did it all take place in the morning?
Lafter Carlon, na commission of Rajang, Nimbezilan, Kasi, Somandala. I'm not going to sonda Juno, for a Kenyan government, all of me do for a bake at a water killing on Laban Somandala.
I remember all Keta Somandala.
Once I can remember, all took place in the morning.
All three events.
You see, Sabul Bay.
In Hakiloman,
If I have, if I can remember, if I can remember properly, these first two incidents took place in the morning, but I know it all happened.
So tell us about the second incident.
The second time it was also a box.
How many boxes?
Boxy Jelu.
One. I also took that box to Numo's office, but that was the time inside Numo's office I had the baby crying in the box.
Inside the office?
Office on Incono.
Numola office Okono.
Inside Numo's office.
Yes. And on this occasion, why were you in Numo's office?
Office Okono tolo.
When I entered Numo's office, he told me to sit down. He told me whatever object we bring into this office, never talk about it and let nobody ever hear it from you.
What was he referring to?
It means that the box that I brought in there.
Was he talking about the box or the contents of the box?
Well, it is the box that I took there, but whatever is in the box, he didn't mention particularly what is in the box. He just said the box.
No, what I'm driving at. What did he not want you to talk about? Was it just the box as such, or the contents of the box he did not want you to talk about?
What I think is that it is the content of the box, because I had the child crying in the box.
That was the second time.
Yes.
So you left the box there.
Yes.
On this second occasion, who took the box to the office?
The same person.
Same person. No killing.
Did he require your assistance to take the box into that office?
Yes.
But it was only one box.
Box
He brought two boxes, but there was a third one also.
No. He brought two boxes, but that was on the third occasion. That's what you said, right? So the second occasion, it was only one box. And on that occasion, did he require your help to take the box to Numo's office?
Kani bulule bang puriyade ma yo boxo fanan samba no mola office.
Boxo ni atele nyininka wala namfane alonko that they na no be boxo kono because they na no nyimbe kumbo la no mola office.
Yes, he asked me to help So that was the day when I had the baby crying inside the box when I took it into Lumo's office.
So what were you helping to do?
Box on Samba Numola office because Tatale.
To take the box into Lumo's office because the man who brought it had already left.
So on each of those two occasions, he left the box with you and he left.
Yes.
And this was early in the morning.
Somanda.
Yes, in the morning.
Before work.
I cannot say that, but it happens in the morning. I know that people come early to the NIA office.
The issue I have is that he did not go to Numo's office because there were many people there and in the reception. That's what you said earlier, isn't it?
Yes.
But that could not have happened early in the morning. Because people would not have been at work.
Funny member NIA at that moment, but NIA Molkatarajal even from 7 o'clock.
Except for those who are not at the NIA working, but people used to be there as early as 7 o'clock.
And the place is full of people, reception, full of people.
Reception.
Those years, NIA is always full.
In those days, NIA is always full.
Well, that's your testimony. When was the third occasion?
It took some time before the third occasion.
Tell us about it.
He came with 2 boxes. He told me, help me and take one of the boxes and convey me to Numo's office. So we all went together till Numo's office. I placed the box down and I left them inside the office. I left him with Numo in the office.
Was there any conversation?
I didn't have anything, I didn't discuss with them anything.
On that occasion, did you hear the baby cry in the box?
No,
That was during the second occasion, as I said here before.
How about the third occasion? Did the baby cry?
It could be, but I cannot remember exactly.
Okay. So, on the third occasion, what assistance did you provide?
I just helped him to take up one of the boxes.
How many boxes were there?
Honey? Come again?
How many boxes were there?
Box full.
2 boxes.
And how many of the boxes did you carry?
One.
And what happened to the other?
He himself took the other box.
So, did you said that Mr. Jaban or Mfali
Mr. Jaba
was later arrested and brought to the NIA? Did you have a conversation with him?
Yes.
What did he tell you?
From here, Motodo Fanankane Kamake Samba.
What he told me in the conversation was that they used to bring these babies there, and another vehicle will come to pick up these babies and take them away.
Did he say where the babies were coming from?
Aya fo na nyinde na no nyi kabona mintole.
Hakilo mo to made bar nim falle kacha jamal leke.
I cannot remember that, but I had a lot of discussions with Mfali.
Did he say where the babies were taken to?
Aya fo en fana nyinde na no iki isamba mintole fana.
In hakilo e je muta na jela oto akonyala ibita eke samba kalil laile hechia.
If I can remember properly, he told me that they used to take these babies to H.E.'s place in Kanilai.
Did he use a particular word to suggest to you that it was being taken to H.E. in Kanilai?
Fo kumakan na fobang memba itandile ko kasamba H.E. Kanilai.
Fananse keno inatara manyina.
Yes, I cannot, if I remember properly, that could be.
What do you remember?
Ye hakilo emuna muta.
Olam nyinti ngamen for science.
That's just what I said a few seconds ago.
Did you ask him any other questions?
Oya nyininka do kotan nalaba.
Ani?
No.
Do you know to what use the babies were put?
Fo yala nyindena no nying ike muna fan la ila munda lillela.
No fanalong.
I don't know that.
The difficulty I have is that you seem not to be able to remember much of what you said in your statement about this issue.
Amunta la ko amulunda kifela ko ku jamal beje me yaron ko sujita nyim ko la jamal beje ko ikafole hakilo mamuda yinyina talal.
And this is a particular troubling incident or incidents.
Mukule me yaron ko ku deta bale me yaron ko aketa.
Os fanan totally because ndemantara mfango la situation auto because the kujamale taki mentambita.
Well, what caused that is that at that time, sometimes I am not myself because of the hardships I encountered there.
Let me read out to you what you said in your statement.
On the
third occasion, he came with 2 boxes. And he came to the room where I was while carrying a box. And said, Mr. Samateh, come out.
Mr. Samateh Fintinang.
Go to my vehicle and bring the other box. I pushed the box and realized that there was a baby inside. And the baby wasn't alive. We took the boxes to Numo's office. That's what you said in your statement.
Still na handefe abemu kuma kilomelati. Bao sabanja mafo dinno be kumbola.
That's what you said. That's what you said a minute ago.
Well, still now it could be the same because I didn't say that for the 3rd occasion the baby was crying.
Unfortunately, Mr. Samateh, that's what you said.
Between Mr. Samateh akitaku kebalote bariole fununde.
You said on the 3rd occasion too, the baby was crying.
Eko sinya sabanja unyimfanan. Dena no nyimbe kumbokane. Dena no nyim kumbotale.
Inside Numo Kujabi's office.
Numo Kujabi la office okono.
Asike?
Yes.
Remember
that could be. I cannot remember everything. But this thing happened on 3 occasions.
Right. And you said later on,
and it ended in Wokola.
Jabang got arrested and was brought to NIA.
Wokola le Jabang fangofana muta ya nati NIA.
I asked him, what do they do with those babies?
Na nyininka alikamule ke odena nolula.
And from where did they have them?
Andung alike bondina mintole.
You told the investigators that, correct?
Yo for kisikisirlali
Are there?
Yes.
What answer did he give you?
Ate ye jabi mune la biri ya nyinin kawla.
No, remember Jaba yen Jabi menla.
I cannot remember what Jabang replied.
But that too is a bit troubling.
Ofananketa kole ya quoted.
Because this is very important information.
Katu mukibar kuma baleti.
You agree that this would be very important information?
Katu ifango nyanta sonna kwenye mukibar kuma baleti.
Sonta?
Yes, I agree.
And if he told you that they collected them in Sukuta, you would have been able to remember that, wouldn't you?
Adunatara ayino foyen ko nyinde na no bondi na sukutale. Hakilo ba mutalale fonte.
Second hakilo to fana mutala.
It could be that I will also forget that.
That would be quite strange, wouldn't it?
Obekela ku kawa quality.
Because this would be very vital information.
Katu ni mukibar kuma baleti. That's true.
But in this case,
But in Silola,
did he tell you of an arrangement, of a method of doing things?
fire kumo foyenne menketa ila kolu tamandi nyati ka kolu tamandi no nyame ayo fayna ba
Jabo kuma Jamal Fonte, but Jabam fana la family lam.
Jabang told me many things, but Jabang also has his own family.
Na dingal le fana munyim banko ka na Muslim.
And he has children of his own in this country with his wife.
We are not talking about Jabang's family or his wife or his children.
Mantara Jaban na dimba la kuma fokang ala muso wala la dindimulu.
We're talking about the conversation you had with him.
Mbe memfokang wala itanin jaba ye kumu memfo mdole fokang jang.
What did he tell you about the working arrangements concerning the babies?
Ay mune foye do ko nyin tamando la karola wode na nolu la kuoto.
Man jama mutano hakilo kono de.
I cannot remember all in my mind.
Anni nga mutafana ntepare la kafu because ngalon ko dimba tel fana mujabanti.
Even if I remember all of it, I will not be. I am not ready to divulge all of what he said to me here because I know that he is also a family man.
Mr. Witness, are you hiding behind confidentiality in order to masquerade some of the deficiencies in your statement?
Sai selo ilafte mabola kullo la kibaro le koma puru ite fon la kuma kawul to fatam fanso lu menu tartaje ilafte lu mabola wala nyama
Ni nakuma ka nto man fatam fansi keje andu ngalon ko fatam fansi teje bari nte jaban na kuma kawul dolu fono la jam pour dunia yo moy because jaban dimon lebe jaban fanambul men be baluri.
It's not part of hiding or trying to hide myself behind privacy about Jabang, what he told me. But I also know that there are some things that Jabang told me, which I cannot narrate here, because I know that Jabang also is a family man. He has relatives in this country. But if you want still, we can write everything down on a paper and hand it over.
Yes, we would be happy to have you write it down. You can have 1 minute with Mr. Kambi. Turn off the microphone and write the information on a piece of paper. And you sign it. Feel free to put the information to him in whatever language you want, English, Dutch, well, sorry, no Dutch, English, Mandinka, whatever.
Kwa hivyo sio ye kibaro nyi safe kawo kawala kubabu kangolo mandinga kango suruwa kango.
Thank you very much, Mr. Witness. For your information, I believe that Mfali Jabang of the State Guards is late. That is the information I have. I will confirm that later. But for what it is worth, the information you have provided here is very important. And it is information that the Commission should know. And the public should also know. I'll provide it to the chairman. Let him take a look at it and see whether this is worth keeping confidential. Because we have had worse. Publicly. And violations of a similar gravity. So perhaps it's not so useful to keep this confidential. I'll provide it to the chair, and he would advise whether this is something you should be able to say publicly. So let's leave it in the hands of the chair. But upon reflection, do you think that this is something you should be able to say publicly? If you are inclined to say it publicly, then it would not be necessary for the chair to make a ruling on it. What do you say? Do you want to say it publicly?
And so it may not, sorry to interrupt, it may not be necessary at all. The information contained there is very important. We've heard it before. The public should know what it is. It's nothing personal for him that you need to hold back a little bit. Either he reads the thing how he explains it, or you go ahead and read what is written. It is important for the public to know what's in that note.
Yaman kamem fo wala mintu ko akumaya ta bakela kibaro men yey men safe nyi kayto balar akumaya ta bakela kibaro moy jande min jawata nyinti fota akumaya ta pour nyim fana jamaya moy yalo membe kering kansul fatu de la foy ba kansul ba di le ya karamba membe jebam fo kansul ba karanda ba bara kumala pour jamaya moy
o fo atele ba fo afangoy
foy de ba karane fa ye yafo
katu manke kuti me ya lonko ayete fangole ma wala ite fangola kebaro lem.
Okay.
Please proceed accordingly.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair.
Thank you.
So, what did he tell you? Where did he say the babies were taken from?
Silanga ko e mindola nyimbe nyindena no nyi ke samba mindola ke bondi mindola sorry
Bondi hospital.
They are taken from the hospital.
Did he identify a particular hospital?
fo ay loptano soto to ba men loptano men to fo ba
Aman loptano to fo but ay nyim fonyal ko musolu men ka ban tingoto.
He didn't mention the hospital, but he said that some women who pass away during delivery,
during childbirth,
during childbirth or delivery,
musolu dingolu e ko leta
they pick those people's babies.
ko leta yes amonam NIA koteke then from NIA yes amba katast atondi Yaya Jammeh Dulato Kalila.
These babies are brought to the NIA and later picked from the NIA and they take them to Yaya Jammeh's place in Kanilai.
For what?
Purumuna.
Sacrifice.
For sacrifice, to sacrifice them.
That is your testimony.
Wala mwela sede andiroti.
So this is what Fali told you. You are on the oath.
Yes, this is what Fali told me.
And you saw the babies with your own eyes.
I saw them with my own eyes.
You carried the box or the boxes containing the babies.
Okay.
Yes.
You know the seriousness of this accusation.
That
the president of this country was taking babies from hospitals and to take them to prison to kanilai for human sacrifice.
Purkateke jalan sadalti.
Well, Mr. Chair, it looks like we don't have a witness for a moment. We have to give the witness the chance to recuperate from the situation. It's a deeply troubling issue. If this is true, it shows how bad our society had gone. But we have to hear the testimony, and the commission would make its findings on the evidence. And the investigations team would give this issue some special treatment, will give it priority, and would investigate it further with a view to seeing whether we can find any corroboration for this.
Munta lead council kamen fote ngolem nyintiko. Nyimu kuleti me yalonko aketa ku sangara ku kolenti ku dimindingu me yalonko abeke kanu na jamano kono woto ni
abeke nangum
ning abeke ning ayatara to nyale dum nyim kumoti woto mo saje no le ko na jamano tinyata nu nyamin nin to nyalem yo bitu wala na akko kisir bunda membe ibulu o kisir bunda ibe kamo dile la puru isi tenten ye nyinko kisi ka kesemeti hani foni ajaba kese woto fo ala bandula fo bita sele la kibar kan me yalon ko sika kibar doti ka bokara dola men si nyinku moto nya yandi no pour isalon même momenti amonda lead council ka wala fotek
ni ya kesebeti ya jaba kese. I like that. Welcome back, Mr. Witness.
Bismillah, Sedo.
Are you comfortable to proceed? Are you comfortable to proceed?
Sure.
Yeah, sure.
And just to remind you that it is important that we get to the absolute truth that has happened. And I'll go back to that issue. And forgive me if it triggers certain disturbing reactions. But it is absolutely important that we get this correct. Your testimony is that guard officer brought babies to the NIA. And he told you afterwards that the President of the Republic of the Gambia, His Excellency Alhaji Jammeh,
His Excellency Alhaji Yaya AJJ Jammeh
was taking babies from hospitals, transport them through the NIA, and use them for human sacrifice in Kanilai. That is your testimony.
Yes.
Under oath.
Yes.
You swear that this is the absolute truth.
This is the absolute truth.
Let's proceed. Apart from the issue of the babies, you told us that lots of things, terrible things happened at the NIA.
And so can you come for brief consultation, please?
Welcome back, Mr. Witness.
Sedo bismillah kotenke.
Are you okay now?
Be fambulle bang sayem bang.
Are you happy to proceed?
Be se wori na buga tentem bang.
We have your blessings on that.
Ngai dunyo soto wala.
Is that a yes?
Wala mhati bang.
Thank you very much. I want to discuss a few topics before we finish.
Ni lafta fanna dandan le kachala nite jannimbe parela.
One is things you were showed
Wala follow kola me tandila.
At the NIA premises.
NIA la sansan kono je me tandila je.
Which was intended to scare you to give a statement.
Wala minde ye yo fengol tandila men kam wala minde pour que silandi pour ye kuma kan di saferor.
If you want to talk about it, we can go ahead.
Ninga da be pare ne pour ka diamo fanna la ton sitenten.
If you don't want to, we have your statement.
Ni mara ne rafana imam pare ka diamo fanna la ton nyela kuma kan soro jana membe saferi.
The next thing we want to talk about,
kuma fanna fulanja mo mbela fla kamen kacha,
how your statement was finalized.
Yela kuma kan ni natana nya ala ko ni nyatna laban nyaadi le.
The eventual court proceedings.
Kidio nyim fanan na ko ni natna laban nyaadi le.
And how you managed to subsequently leave the country.
Andu inarna kata ko fere nyaadi le fo inarna finde banko kan janga kana kata.
And then we would give you an opportunity to say your closing remarks.
Sila niwo botara bina ko kumo bina murule ka ninga dare kuma soro yela kumo da soro wala.
Are you willing to proceed in this manner?
Fo be parere ne pour ka tenden ni silo la ba.
Yes.
You, during your interrogation, you said you were tortured on several occasions to give a statement. Was there an occasion where you were showed things aimed at scaring you into giving a statement?
Yes.
Do you want to tell us about it?
Yes.
It's your choice to say it under the circumstances or to just let us go by what is on the statement.
I want to talk about it.
Please go ahead.
NIA, they showed me many things. After they beat people, it was always me who used to clean the upstairs room on many occasions. When
nteleka molla remending inga tara dolu fata o yedolu kuntu nteleka yara remending sika keke botolu kono.
Sometimes after they deal with people, for example, if some die during that torturing session, it is me who will pack them up, because sometimes they cut people. I will take those pieces and put it in a bag.
Nteleka around, ikantele samba around ka remending tandina.
It is me who they usually take around to show me parts of a human being, like a human head.
Omar Cham
did it maybe up 2 times, up to 3 times. Omar Cham did that to show me a human head. If you refuse to tell us what we need, we will do the same thing to you and throw your remains in a soccer-way. I've seen pieces of human flesh. I saw human hands which were cut off. I've seen people whose eyes were removed from their sockets. There is nothing which I have not witnessed at the NIA. In the torturing of people.
how many times where you sowed these human heads, you said?
Wati jallam yem mo kumol tandila.
It was even more than 3 to 4 times.
Where did this incident happen? Where at the NIA did it happen?
NIA mostly coma.
NIA most of the time behind.
And these human heads of what race and what sex?
More difference no, because mantara mampare nyanganyalo akam fongalo moments ifa fondam fomo.
I didn't check that difference because when they show me these things, I don't even like to look at it to be able to understand or ascertain whatever is in front of me.
But did you see it?
But I saw it.
And you were able to say with certainty that these were human heads.
It was very clear to me that this is a human head.
In all 3 human head.
Yes, they are all human heads.
Decapitated.
Yes, they were decapitated.
Were they freshly cut or these were heads that have been kept for a while?
There was one occasion which I saw, and I am clearly sure that it was just a freshly cut head.
Man or woman?
And it was clear to me that that person was a male.
And who did you say showed you these decapitated heads?
Umar Cham showed it to me on 2 occasions.
You said you were showed this around 3 or 4 occasions. Who was responsible for the other occasions?
I don't know those people.
How did it come for those people to show you those decapitated heads?
They used to come to me and find me sitting, and they'll tell me, Sillahba, go and answer.
Okay. And then what would happen?
Then I always go with them to know why they are calling me.
And then what would happen?
And when that happens, sometimes, on some occasions, I have to collect human hands, put them in a bag, or human legs, put them in a bag.
And this is your testimony on the oath?
Yes. Yes.
So eventually you agreed to give a statement.
Yes.
Could you take a look at this document? And look at the signature, and you will tell us whether this was the statement that you gave?
But statement or man can that.
I signed the document, but the statement is not my statement.
And why did you sign the statement?
I was between life and death, and it was not me alone. It was me and my child.
Thank you very much. But in the end, after giving this statement, did you appear in court?
Yes.
And tell us how that happened.
Kiti lalo, janni mbita kiti lato, olungolu bekono, janni nye kiti lungumuta, Lamin Dabo, alala luolung kata wale kan karandi membe safaring kaitoto.
Well, whenever a day has been chosen for the trial, I used to go to Lamin Dabo. He will help and teach me and tell me what is written on the paper.
In a sense, you are telling us that he was schooling you as to how and what you would testify to in court.
Yes, not only Lamin Dabo, DPP Chenga also. I used to sit down with Chenga and Lamin Dabo. He will ask me and tell me, if I ask you this, this is how you are going to respond to my question.
And did you do that?
Okay. Yes, I did that.
And did you testify?
Yes, I did that.
Did you complete your testimony?
No.
Why?
Because when I was bailed, that's the time when I left the country.
How did you get bail?
I discussed this bill with DPP Chenge and my sister, my younger sister. And then they told me if I can do a certain thing for them, then I'll be able to get a bail.
And what was that certain thing that you were asked to do in exchange for bail?
That I took out a lot of money which I gave to DPP Chenge.
He asked for a bribe. Is that what you're telling the commission?
Yes.
How much?
It was a lot of money. I cannot recall now how much, but it was more than $1 million.
$1 million what?
Dollars. $1 million.
Your statement said $500,000.
It was more than that.
So,
several times. It was not only once that I gave him money several times.
So, you telling this commission that DPP Chenge demanded that you bribe him over $1 million for him to arrange for your bail.
DPP Chenge wole kanindro kela koya duku kodola membita fo membe siala million kodoti dalaso pour ay beliro kol nyi topoto.
Do you realize how serious this accusation is?
Yenin kala mutala ba nyi ko nyi ngala jawya nyi be nyame ba nyi tumiro nyi yalla na jawya be nyame ba.
Yes.
And this is your testimony under oath.
Andu nyemu ila seeda ndiro de be men di kan kalokoto.
This is my testimony.
Who gave him the money?
Jumale kodo diala.
I personally took some to him, and Lamin Dabo took some money to him too.
Lamin Dabo?
And my wife also took some money to him.
Which Lamin Dabo are you talking about?
Lamin Dabo
Lamin Dabo NIA. Lamin Dabo NIA.
What role did he play in that deal?
Lamin Dabo atemu silale tamandi okono.
Just to carry money to DPP Chenge.
Was he a simple courier or he was a courier with interest?
Famu moldi me alonko abe jele drum ka konyin tamandi fenta eje ban fa be konyin tamandi ka wada fanam na fa ba eje ba.
As a ken fa ba eje bar no long by that time.
It could be possible that he also has an interest, but I didn't know that at that time.
Do you know whether he received any part of the money?
Yalla na kodo nyin kono je fo afana do soro jele ba niyo soro jele ba.
No fanan kala mutada.
No, I was not aware of that.
Did you have to bribe any NIA officers?
Fo, NIA do kula fana fo mo soro na jele ba yemen duku ba.
Ima ko jamala nyinin kambulo. So mala faawi kala dukolti bam faman ke dukolti bam bari ikanan kanne pour ma koyro.
They demanded a lot of money from me.
Assistance.
And these, sometimes they come to me and ask for assistance. And I will give them money.
A public officer cannot, should not, and must not receive financial benefits from people under their custody, from people under their charge.
Mola me alon ko abe do kula jamala do kulalem amanyan na kodo kanin na warando dugo kanin na mobul me alon ko wala surtout o mari nyimbe la marofa on koto amanyan na ka
Who have you given money to?
ite kodo di jumalla
Siata.
Many of them.
Tell us.
afanye
Numo ba konole.
Lumo is part of it.
Numo who?
numo juma
Louis Bejele.
numo juma
Numo who?
Numo Kujabi.
Lumo Kujabi.
How much did you give him?
Oh, I remember Bosinya Jama.
I cannot remember that, but I gave him money many times.
You said Louis?
Louis Gomez Bejele.
Luis Gomez is also part of it.
Junior service, no many told for long.
Because, and some of the junior officers whom I don't know their names even.
Well, those you mentioned have died, unfortunately.
yemen do voting wol fatale fayolan
Anyone?
Yes, I know that.
Any beneficiary of your lodges who is alive? Is there any?
ye kodo di men na men siara ye fo mo so radio men ga ya be balurim bang ko yaglo si mem mutano ko tanke
Alon ko ngafendi lamin dabo la baro manke turu DPP chengati.
I know I gave Lamin Dabo something which was not through DPP Chenge.
What did you give him?
yemune diala
Ko do diala le.
I gave him some money.
How much?
jelu
Ma remember jelle mude.
I cannot remember how much.
Lu musudo fanambe je wonto.
And there was a woman also called Wonto.
Ko do dio fananale.
I gave her some money.
Where were you getting all this money from?
ken kodo be soro min tole
Famala business auto.
Out of my own business.
When you were in detention?
bar wato be maro kono
Because janimbe dun namaro kono wato na building oli e joroke na business oli e joroke.
Before going into custody, my people who were renting my buildings paid money, and I also got some money out of my business.
So who was bringing that money to you?
Say,
How
Jumala
were you
ko-
getting the money? How were you receiving it?
jumala ka kodo na tanya no kodo ni kaso to nyaadi le
Na muso.
My wife.
Good. So you were granted bail
inarana bail dila
through the arrangement made by Chenge. That's
Kabo-
DPP Chenge. That's what you said.
kabo ni kata ko la nim fero la men landita kabo ke DPP Chengea
That's what you said, right?
ye wala fakoni
Okay. So who bailed you?
jumala ye bail
Doma muso.
My younger sister.
So what did you do when you were granted bail?
yemune ke bri ye bail dila ye bail soto
Wato dem finta banko kan.
That's the time when I left the country.
How did you travel?
itamata nyaadi le
Through Brikama, then Casamas, through the back road to Dakar.
I went to Brikama and I tried and entered Casamas by the back road. Then I took the way there to go to Dakar.
So what happened to your sortie, the person who bailed you?
menu ye sankaya menu ye bailiro sankaya mune keta wala
Iri en kumandi tili dantan koma imanjeno watele natana wol fanan arrest.
When they called me a few days after my bail, that was the time when those people also were arrested.
Who was arrested?
e jumale muta
Doma muso Janke Samateh.
My younger sister, Janke Samateh.
And what was done to him?
yemune kala
Janke fanan dunta kole a jamale kono.
Janke also encountered a lot of difficulties.
Like what?
men kamunta ko mu
Janke some months ke NIL, some months in mile 2.
Janke spent some months at the NIA and also some months at Mile 2.
I mean Janke a total of 11 months under detention.
I think she spent about 11 months under detention.
Did she forfeit the bond that she signed?
aye sankaya men na janninga be bella wala ma sankaya ko do men na fakodi lamba famune afoda wala labang
For Rakaito.
It was a compound document.
And what happened to the compound?
Mene keda kordanyin na.
Ranginga sotole.
Aliya Sotole. Yes, we've got back the compound.
How?
Nyadi.
Tata kiti yolto pukan na fengol besot. Dara fengol and benda finta yan na feng kilim mantaran koto. Biren na banko kan dara kiti yol pukan na fengol besot kote.
When I was released, by that time they had already taken all my things. But when I returned back into the country, I went to court to be able to regain all my lost possessions.
Including the property forfeited through jumping of bail?
Abe kono wala mkordanyin ti ye korde ido koma ye sankaya mena jadi kabribe bela isa unda mena bela itara.
Hade.
Yes.
Mr. Chair, I would leave it at that, but before I go, you say that the statement that you gave was false.
Iko janimbe kumo nyimbanna iko ke kumakan nyin yemen safeje yemen dj iko kumakan me an ko amange kumakan to nyaare ngoti
Manke to nyaati ndefo ma safari ngole na tankan ko e lafta ngafo tenne.
It is not true. It is not something that I stated. They wrote it and brought it to me and told me this is what we want you to say.
And the statement is that you are selling substances and passing them off as cocaine, and you scamming people of their money.
Amunta kumaka to yina foko. Ite be fenni wa African e ka fo me ye cocaine.
No. They were selling substances like flour and passing it off as cocaine.
Amunta telbe fenni wa African membe ko farinyo. Bari aliba nyine itande kam wala ko nyimu cocaine leti.
And you claiming that you are given these substances by the president.
Adu be nyine fo kanko me yo fengo dila alikame wa fi wonya president wala yo dial.
So people would pay you the money, but they would not get drugs, they would get flowers instead.
Bari nimmeni asangi mafana ye kodo dila ite kamen dila amanke ko cocaine dida amunta ko farinyo le di wolula.
That is what is contained in this statement.
Wala be safari kuma kama nyin kono.
Tomo kuke andu mo kuma fanan safe statemento nana mon kodita amobulu ka fo be drugs le dilela mo nana mon kodina fanan pro drugs fanan.
I didn't do anything that is stated in that way. I never sold drugs to anybody or scammed anybody to give you flour saying that it is drugs. I didn't do anything like that, and I've never sold any drugs to anybody.
So your testimony is that the system, the NIA, manufactured your statement and tortured you to accept the statement and forced you to testify as per this statement, and they got you to bribe them, at least the DPP, for bail so that you can jump bail and leave the country.
Amunta NIA Italy fansun kumole kafunyo ya safe between atete fanamuta ye forcé to sondi wala ke kalindi inate samba kitu wala yole dunke selo ti mellondi te kamma bitu kololem hanfo birin ko tata inate beltu mo menna utumo le te fananata banko bula tata belo nyinko.
That is your story.
Amunta wala mwila kuma kamaluti.
Keta wala fananyam.
That's the way it happened.
Quite extraordinary.
Akata kawa kuoti.
We won't ask you any questions about the drug dealing.
Our
primary focus is your victimization. Nonetheless, an interesting story. No further questions, Mr. Chair. And before you close, Mr. Chair, I would want to put in a few documents.
Please proceed on those ones.
The protected information sheet should be Exhibit 177D.
D as in David?
As in David.
Okay.
And the statement he gave at the NIA should be Exhibit 177E. With your permission, Mr. Chair, we admit them as suggested.
Request granted, Council. Thank you so much. Thank you, Mr. Sillahba Samateh, for coming to testify before the Commission.
Chairman ko numbara Mr. Sillahba Samateh isonta kana sede yaro commission nyatinula.
Quite a gruesome testimony concerning babies.
Aketa sede yar leti men ya lonko dinkirabi jo sangarata bakele men keta nyindena non lakoti.
Our mandate period is 1994 July to January 2017.
Ntella watu men nyanta men kisi la katonya bondi wala kabona 1994 kana 2017.
During that period, which NIA Directors General did you meet?
Which okono itanin NIA la Director General Jumanyol le nyoje.
And what subjects did you discuss with them?
And inina tamun kulle kacha fanang Allah nyoje okono.
And during the same period,
and ate which kilo inkono
1994 to 2017.
Kabo 1994 kana 2017.
Did you have the opportunity to meet with President Yahya Jammeh, and what was it that you had discussed with Jammeh personally?
For the inata silo sotolewe which okono pour in President Yahya Jammeh nyoje. Natra kitafana ali nyoje sai Allah nyoje okono. Alnata kacha mun kunim kullela wo nyoje which okono.
You have the floor, please.
Silang bunda ile ringo feleye.
The Sillahba Samateh.
Mi Sillahba Samateh.
Ntenene ma Yahya Jammeh janya fangola. Nyaman ke television oti.
I've never seen Yahya Jammeh with my eyes naked except on the television.
Nyaman ke ngatam bito doroneje.
Or just seeing him passing by.
Nene ni Yahya Jammeh nene man si doto na balwokono.
I've never sat down with Yahya Jammeh in my whole life.
Anene man soto.
It never happened.
It's a record fintilanam from State House Kafoko Sillahba natala ni Yahya Jammeh besiri.
They will never be able to show any record from State House which will show that I have met Yahya Jammeh, because it never happened in my life.
Anene man soto doto.
Never, it never took place.
Fulanjang fana NIA director.
Secondly, the NIA director,
I
never sat down with him to the point of discussing. Except for the case of these babies, when he told me that never talk to anybody about these babies, never say it to anybody. Yes, that's what I can answer to your questions.
And with regard to babies being used for sacrifice in Kanilai, you got that information exclusively from Valley.
Amunta dena lulu ikesamba jalangoto sadayala. Amunta yo kumunu besoto mfalli lebulu. Yes, I got all that information from Mfali.
Thank you very much indeed. Commissioners, if you have any questions, Deputy, you have the floor, please.
Deputy Commissioner, or Deputy Chairman, welcome Yininka.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Mr. Samateh.
Mr. Samateh.
I have one question.
When
you were carrying out the gruesome acts of clearing dismembered bodies,
where was
your son?
He was there because later on he was very used to the security who were there.
So
whenever I tell him to sit down near the security, he will sit down there. Or if I tell the security people, please take care of him for me, they always take care of him.
Thank you.
Your son was never shown any of those body parts.
Amunta idimo inene mangu hadama dingo lao kuntolu itandiala. Sometimes he follows me.
But sometimes
that area is not very clear to me, but sometimes he follows me.
Commissioner Samba, you have the floor.
Commissioner Samba fanan lafte nyininkala.
Thank you very much, Chairman. Sillahba lafte nyininkala menna.
Sillahba, what I want to ask you about is
na Deputy Chairman demanding ma otole.
Our Deputy Chairperson touched a little bit on that area. This child, because since I came to know, since I became aware of myself in the Gambia here,
prison or detention,
a father has never been incarcerated whereby the son will go and stay with him.
At least
I think they asked or they demanded something from you in which case whereby they will bring this child and allow him to stay with you. I want you to clarify that portion.
Because
it's all
ni sonta nyuluma ilafta fen ferandina o kono le mu birin sonta ye laptop blanye ye telefono blanye ena kono zen telefono use no zen dingo se tarano mbalano laptop fana mbembuluje.
Yes, it's all part of the same story, because when they finally made me agree, as Luis told me, yes, if you agree, we will give you chances. That the time when I was given a laptop, my telephones were returned to me, and I was allowed also to have my child near me. My second question is about these babies.
Because as a nurse,
if you have a sick person, and you know that this person is a pregnant woman, when she delivers or after childbirth, if she has an escort, somebody who came along with her, you should call the escort and inform the escort that, well, the lady that you came with has delivered a child. If the child is alive, you inform the escort that, well, she delivered a male child or a female child. But these people whose babies were carried away, well, were there nobody who asks for these babies, saying that, where is my baby? Is he or alive or dead or something like that? Well, I cannot answer that part because I don't know the parents of those babies, because I was not present when these babies were collected. So I cannot say this is the mother or this is the father of the baby. Your question is very, very important, but I cannot answer the question because I was not there.
Commissioner Bojan Manyima.
Commissioner Manyima Bojan ne kane nyininka. Ila microphone.
Mr. Samateh,
Mr. Samateh, thank you very much. My greetings to you on your testimony. I want to ask about your child who was with you at the NIA.
Mile 2 Central Prison. When
you were transferred to Mile 2 at the Central Prison, what happened to the child? Where did you take him to?
Mile 2.
And how long were you at Mile 2?
Transfer Mile 2. Biranta finta mile to manna murje koteke sinya kilen lenga suta kilen keje Msasa table very serious then a Royal Victoria Hospital from there then in other decide come to my NIA.
I spent only a day at the central prison and I became very, very sick there. So that very day they took me to the hospital. I spent only one night there. So after I was taken to the hospital, when I recovered, they took me back to the NIA where they left me.
Okay, Abaraka.
Thank you.
Commissioner Imam Jallo, you have the floor, please.
Imam Jallo, wale lafte Ninkala.
Witness,
Akosedo.
you have said that you have never met Yaya Jammeh.
Iko nene Yaya Jammeh man almanena mambeng.
And it seems most of your answers are forgotten or I don't know.
Ando ile jabiro men siata je wala nyinatale malo.
How did you get involved in this mess?
Can you
explain to the commission, please?
First of all, commission wo nyami nyolo keta nyadile.
Nyami nyolo si falo moti.
Amonta nyinkome yeje fanja kono.
Nyinkome ngam fanja kono fone nga Yaya Jammeh nyinin kawla. Munenta du nyinko kono.
Well, except if I ask Yaya Jammeh about it, what happened? What brought me into this mess? I have never seen him. I never sat with him. Now, it's just I saw myself in this.
Thank you. Imam C, you have the floor, please.
Imam C, fanal lafte nyinin kala.
Loba jerejef danga def
Ako Sillahba ilumbara kortanate. Ako Sillahba, he said that Sillahba, thank you very much.
lima lay laaj moy sa dom bi ngay daw foko bayiwon.
I'm asking you about your child. When you were running to leave the country, when you absconded, where did you leave your child? Well, he's a European. He is not a citizen of this country. I went along with him.
Thank you very much, Mr. Sillahba Samateh. If you have any concluding remarks to make, please proceed to make them now.
Sai Sillahba Samateh ni fana kuma kangulu soto ibela diamu kumfala menula sila ifana sitente yewlufo.
Not kuma kan laba wala nyintiko ala baraka.
What I will say finally is that my sincerest thanks to you. You are doing a very good job. So that all what has transpired here in bad things shouldn't happen again. It has been very difficult for me to sit in front of you here. Well, true. These are things which happened in the past. I never wanted to reveal these things. Because why? 90% of my family are not citizens of this country. So today, what I am afraid of is because I know that they are sitting down and watching what's happening here, saying that this is what happened to our father before, which he never even told us. Maybe several to attend the before. Maybe in the form of writing what Esa saw before, I left out a lot of things to defend my family, so that they will not see this country as a very bad place, so that they will never come back here to me again. But at this moment where I am sitting right now, a lot of things came out of me which didn't happen before. Because I never thought that I will reveal all what I said here. It was hard for me, but I will say thank you very much. My advice is going to be
Kanyim banko makoy ka tentendi.
To help this country so that we will go along.
Ko menketa anene kana ke kotike.
So that what happened will not reoccur in this country again.
So walam nyinti ko kotike ala baraka.
So that's what I mean by saying again, thank you.
You
are doing a very good job. Yes.
Assalamu alaikum.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much indeed, Mr. Samateh, and we should be the ones to be grateful to you for coming to testify before the commission.
Inimbara bake Mr. Samateh, mteni fananyanta fulene inimbara puru isonta kanasi komiso nyati mula kelase de yaro kijang.
We wish you all the best and hope you will recover very well and recover soon.
Mbedwale fo alasi imako ke kulu besono yandiye mbedwala fo esifan soto fanan jata kende ala karola fo aseke koti fanan alasi mentariandi.
Thank you again for coming to testify. We will now take a 1-hour lunch break and resume at 3 p.m. Meeting is adjourned. Thank you all.